64,000 fans see Tom Harmon and the Michigan Wolverines tackle the Minnesota Gophers in a cold, muddy stadium. Both teams are undefeated, and it's Michigan that gets going first. A wet, slippery gridiron is no place for the shifty Harmon, but he rolls up plenty of yardage just the same, setting the stage for the first touchdown of the day. It's a wet ball, but Harmon gets off a good pass that scores for Michigan. Evashevski's got it, and the Wolverines lead 6-0. They failed to kick the extra point, and that spelled disaster. Just before the half, Bruce Smith uncorks the run of the week, sprinting 80 yards for a Gopher touchdown, a run that gives Minnesota the famous Little Brown Jug Championship for the year. Last July, the nation hailed the opening of the new $6.5 million Tacoma Narrows Bridge over Puget Sound. Governor Clarence Martin officiated at the dedication and was the first over the new mile-long shortcut to the Olympic Peninsula. What an engineering marvel it seemed, the third longest suspension bridge in the world. But almost from the first, tragedy hung over the great structure. Stiff winds blowing up Puget Sound caused it to sway and finally to weave and twist, as you see here in these amazing pictures taken at risk of life just before the great span tore itself apart. A reporter deserted his car on the bridge and crawled back to safety as the great roadway, like a pendulum of doom, swayed and twisted in its death agony. Professor Farquharson of the University of Washington courageously ventured on the writhing roadway in a vain attempt to rescue a dog from the deserted car. For several months, he had studied the strange vibrations of galloping Gertie, as the bridge came to be called, figuring out ways to stop the vibration. But now there is no cure. The giant cables are under terrific strain as the great roadway on the bridge whips about in a fantastic way, like a fluttering ribbon. There it goes. The most sensational scene filmed since the Hindenburg disaster. It seems like a bad dream. It's hard to believe. B.D. Elliott and Harbin Monroe of Tacoma, who took these pictures, almost paid with their lives for their daring and courage. As for Leonard Coatsworth, the Tacoma reporter, he feels he is just about the luckiest man alive. Plans are already underway to reconstruct the destroyed bridge, which was an important link in the West Coast's national defense highways. The solid steel wide plates of the roadway are supposed to have offered too much resistance to the wind, thereby causing the excessive swaying that finally brought about today's startling collapse. Whatever it was, one of America's finest structures has been reduced to wreckage, far beneath the waters of Puget Sound. Not a person was lost, but it's a real tragedy.